We had a wild weekend of football, at least in the NFL. We had some nice comebacks. We had a rookie making his highly anticipated NFL start, and we had a couple of surprises and not so surprises. And in college football, last week was the preliminaries. This week is the main event. It is rivalry week. We're going to get into all the games, or at least most of them, that might severely impact the college football playoffs. We're going to get into that and a little bit more here today on the Manic and Panic Monday in the Total Sports Ozone. Big O with the Big Mouth coming at you on a Manic and Panic Monday, November 24th, 2025. And first off, let me apologize for not having my podcast or live stream running on Thursday and Friday of last week. I had some spur of the moment doctor's appointments that I had to attend to, and I couldn't get my podcast in on time. But I'm here today, and I'll be here all week, including Thanksgiving. I will be here on Thanksgiving, giving you my take of what's going on in the world of sports. So let's get into it. Yesterday, NFL, Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles. That probably was the biggest matchup as far as division matchup of the day yesterday. And it was talked about all last week. Dallas Cowboys, if they were to make a serious run at a playoff berth this year, they had to win at least two of their next three games. We talked about that all last week. And this was game number one of those 2 out of 3 that they got to win. And it was again at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. And if you were a Cowboys fan, you didn't have much hope. Pretty much 1/3 of the way into the second quarter, they were down 21-0, and they looked awful. They could not stop the Eagles. The Eagles scored touchdowns on their first 3 drives. And Dak Prescott, he was trying, but he threw a painful interception that stalled the drive. But then something happened. I don't know what it was. I don't know if the Cowboys woke up. I don't know if the crowd had anything to do with it. Because let's face it, in Jerry's world, aka AT&T Stadium, it's much like University of Phoenix Stadium or whatever it is, the State Farm Stadium out there in Phoenix, and SoFi Stadium in LA. Roughly half the audience, half the fans are going to be fans of the other team. That's how it's like at AT&T Stadium. Don't ask me why, but that's what it's like. So I don't know if it was the crowd that got into it. I don't know if there was a crazy pep talk that happened. I don't know. But the Cowboys, for the next, I say, 2.5 quarters, halfway through the second quarter, and on for the rest of the game, they looked like a playoff team. They looked like a playoff team against the defending Super Bowl champions. They held Philadelphia to those 21 points the rest of the game. Philadelphia did not score a point on their last 8 possessions. The defense actually held its own. It didn't look good first, but from the roughly halfway through the second quarter on to the rest of the game, the defense held its own. I'm talking about the Cowboys defense. They held their own. They kept the Eagles out of the end zone. They didn't even get a field goal. Missed field goal was about as close as Philadelphia got the scoring anytime in the second half of the game. And Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and definitely George Pickens, they went to work. They went to work when they got timely great plays from George Pickens. That was pretty much throughout the second half. And Dak Prescott was cold, composed. He even ran in a touchdown. That's right. Dak Prescott even ran in a touchdown to shrink the lead down to 7. And then they got another touchdown pass. They stopped the Eagles, got the touchdown to tie the game. And then on the punt, I believe on the punt, they recovered the punt. But they couldn't do anything with it. And I was thinking, I'm watching this game, and I'm thinking, oh, man, why didn't they kick the field goal? It was like 4 minutes or some change left. I said, why didn't you kick the field goal? They went for it on 4th and goal from like the 2-3 yard line, didn't get it. I'm thinking, why didn't you kick the field goal with so little time left? Didn't matter. It didn't matter. It turned out it didn't matter. Because the Cowboys defense, and I have to say, their defense has improved since they got that Williams guy from the Jets at the trade deadline. Their defense has improved somewhat. I have to admit that. Yeah, they play the Raiders and another cupcake, but if you can hold the defending world champions after they punched you in the mouth the first 3 possessions, and you can hold them without scoring a touchdown or field goal for the remainder of the game, that's got to say something about the defense improving. It ain't gonna be elite, but like I said before, with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and Ferguson and Monte, the guys running the ball, the defense doesn't have to be elite. It just has to be. It don't even have to be average. It can be slightly below average. And with that offense, capable of scoring points at will if they want, they got a chance. They got a chance. They showed that yesterday. When they got the ball back with a minute some change left, no timeout, no problem. Quickly worked their way to field goal range. George Pickens with the key reception on that last drive that got them well in the field goal range. And they did right with the clock management so they wouldn't leave the Eagles no time to do anything. And Brandon Aubrey came through with a 42-yard walk-off field goal, giving the Cowboys their biggest, or tied with their biggest comeback win in franchise history. 24-21 over the Eagles. Now, Cowboys are now 5-1. They're back at 500. Is it safe to say that the Cowboys could possibly make a hellacious playoff run or playoff push? Let's put it like that. Is it safe to say that? Is it safe to say that? This was the first step. We said they needed to win 2 of the next 3 games. This was game number 1 of those 3. And they won it. Came back from 21 down and won it. Next step is Thursday, Thanksgiving. And they're playing at home against the Chiefs. Another desperate team who's trying to make their playoff push. That's 2. Then they got to go see the Detroit Lions on December 4th. That won't be easy. But considering Detroit's defense has been a little shady as of late, it's not impossible for the Cowboys to go up there in Detroit and take a win. It's not impossible. The Detroit defense hasn't been lighting anybody up lately. So it is possible. It's going to be hard as hell, But it is possible that the Cowboys can win at least one of these 2 games they got coming up. And they're going to need that. Because after that, their schedule lightens up for the last 3 games of the season. They got the Vikings who they're just not very good with J.J. McCarthy at the helm. They're just not very good. They got the Chargers, who are beatable, and they got the Commanders, last game of the regular season, day out, Christmas Day. Those are winnable games. With the offense that the Cowboys have, and their defense ever so slightly improving as of late, those 3 games are winnable. And if they can get through this, right now they're in the middle of a 3-game gauntlet. They took care of business with the first one. But now on a short week, they got the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes coming in. Can they take care of that one? If they take care of that one, then they got to go see Detroit. That will not be easy at all. But like I said, Detroit's defense has been wishy-washy as of late. And so I would anticipate a very good shootout between Jared Goff and Dak Prescott. But they got to take care of business Thursday. When they got Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Rasheed Rice coming in town on a short week. It is possible. Like I said, if you squint it, you will notice that their defense has played a little better. I'm not gonna say they're world beaters. I'm not gonna say they can stop everybody now. We're not going that far yet. But they've played better since the trade deadline. They played a lot better than they did their first 7-8 games, where they were just dog awful. Their defense is now, I would say, I will put it in the realm of mediocre. I am not going to say they're hot garbage now. I'm going to say they're mediocre. But with this offense, if the key components stay healthy, that's all you need is a mediocre defense. You don't need an elite one. Just be better than hot garbage. And it looks like they're getting that way. Don't know. But you can hold the Eagles out of the end zone for 2.5 quarters after they punched in your mouth for the first 3 possessions. That's what you want out of your defense. It keeps you in the game. And that's what Dallas' defense did. It looked bad at first, but they improved the rest of the game, and it gave the Cowboys a chance. It kept them in the game until their offense put on their track shoes and ran. And that's what you want if you're a Cowboys fan. You don't need your defense to be world beaters. You would like that, of course, but you don't need it with this team. Just keep the team in the game. That's all you need. With Dak Prescott and those wide receivers and the tight ends, with that offense, that's all your defense needs to do. Keep you in the game until your offense get it under cruise control, and boom, you can win some games. They showed that yesterday. Biggest comeback win in franchise history. Congratulations to the Cowboys. I didn't think you could do it. You proved me wrong, and I salute you for it. Big O with the big mouth, Total Sports Ozone. Now, probably one of the more highly anticipated and, in my opinion, long overdue NFL starts was made for a rookie quarterback yesterday. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Shedeur Sanders made his first NFL start for the Cleveland Browns against the Las Vegas Raiders. And personally, you couldn't have picked a better team to go to start against for your first NFL start, because the Raiders are awful. They just dog awful. I mean, their offense stinks, their defense stinks, their special teams, it's bad. But if you're the Browns, you're 2-8. Hey, You'll take it. Now, Shedeur Sanders makes his first NFL start. Now, me personally, I wasn't expecting 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. You're delusional if you think a rookie quarterback in his first start is going to put up some eye popping numbers like that. You're just plain delusional, and you don't know a damn thing about NFL football. So I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting mediocre to decent numbers, somewhere around 150 to 200 yards, maybe a touchdown, maybe two, maybe one or two interceptions, and maybe a couple of sacks, two, maybe three sacks. I expect a rookie starting debut to be what it's supposed to be, a learning experience. Well, he did slightly better than that. In my opinion, Shedeur Sanders did slightly better than my expectations. He was 11 of 20, not the greatest completion percentage, but you remember he's a rookie making his first start. He was 11 of 20 with 209 yards. He threw a touchdown off a screen pass. He threw one interception. That interception was pretty bad, but it was a learning experience. And here's my thing: he was only sacked once for 2 yards. Whereas when he played against the Ravens, when he came in the second half of that game, he was sacked twice for, ooh, man. He lost a lot of yardage on those, what, it was 2 or 3 sacks. This game, he only sacked once for 2 yards. He was hurried a lot. And I think he made some great reads. And that 155-yard bomb he threw on the run, running to his right, to Isaiah Bond, and if Bond would have kept his balance, that would have been a touchdown. I thought that was the best pass he threw, so by far in his career so far. That was the best pass he thrown. And I can't believe it was done by a Cleveland Browns quarterback. I'm not used to a Cleveland Browns cornerback throwing deep. I'm used to them throwing check downs, I'm throwing screen passes out in the flat, and maybe a little bit of intermediate. I'm not used to a Cleveland Browns quarterback, okay, who it is, throwing deep. And when I say deep, 30 yards or more. I'm not used to that. Shedeur, he didn't care. He saw a man he thought it was open, he flung it, and he hit him. And if Isaiah Bond would have kept his balance for like one more step, that would have been a 57-yard touchdown. Beautiful pass. He threw another dime, I think, on the run to Jerry Jeudy. However, that bonehead wanted to hold the ball like it's a loaf of bread and trying to do some kind of whatever it was, juke step on 2 or 3 defenders, did not look behind him and got the ball stripped out of his hands for a fumble. Hopefully, Jerry Jeudy learns his lessons about that. You got to help the young man. Don't hurt him. Young man trying to make a name for himself. You got to help him. If you don't want to help him, sit your ass on the bench. You know what I mean? Because it's bad enough the Browns don't have that deep threat anyway. On their wide receiver core don't scare nobody. I mean, they just don't. They don't have anybody that can consistently go deep, get themselves open deep, and actually catch the ball deep. They don't have that. They have guys, what they do. Intermediate screen passes out in the flat and hope they get yards after the catch. What they call yak. Yards after the catch. That's what they have. That's what Shedeur has to work with. And yeah, he's still going to throw deep if he sees that opportunity. All that aside, that's not what I was looking for. What I was looking for was, like I said in one of my streams last week, I want to see this young man look and have the composure of a true NFL quarterback. Not look like the moment's too high for him or like a deer caught in the headlights type of thing. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that, especially against the Raiders. And especially with your father in attendance. It would have been pretty bad for Shedeur if he had a stunk up the joint performance with his dad looking in the stands, who happens to be an NFL Hall of Fame. But he didn't look bad at all. Of course, he got a lot to learn. He's a rookie quarterback. Of course, they all have lots. All rookie QBs have lots to learn about the NFL game. He needs to. I still think he holds on to the ball a little bit too long. He needs to go through his progressions a little bit faster. Because when the heat burned down on him, that's what happened. He didn't look through his progressions, and the Raiders fooled him on that when they came out, when the cornerback cheated up and then he dropped back in coverage. I don't know if it was linebacker or cornerback when he looked like he was going to come in on a rush, but then he dropped back in coverage, and they tend to fool Shedeur, and that's when he threw that interception. He has to learn how to read the defenses better. But all rookie QBs has to learn how to do that. That's why you play them. That's how they learn. You got to get them out there and play them. So he made rookie mistakes, and you had to expect that. But he also showed a hell of a lot of poise, composure, and he was like, he was on the field like, let's do this, and he didn't lose the game. And in this game where the defense, what can you say? The defense just dominated. 10 sacks. I mean, 10 sacks. 3 of them by Myles Garrett. I mean, they ate the defense ate the way they wanted to eat. And they did it the whole game. Like, this was one of the few games of the Cleveland Browns that I felt when they went up 14-3, game's over. The Browns might give them one touchdown maybe to make themselves feel better. But it's game's over. That's how bad the Raiders are, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know. They terrible. They're terrible. But that's what we had to play. So we're going to play them. And the defense, best performance of the season. I thought their best performance was against the Dolphins. It probably was their best home performance of the season. This was by far their best performance, period. In the whole season. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, Geno Smith threw for 285 yards, but he was under duress the whole game. He was sacked 10 times. It's amazing that he didn't fumble the ball. Oh, yeah, he did fumble it twice. My fault. He did fumble it. And Myles Garrett, ladies and gentlemen, right now he's Defensive Player of the Year, it ain't even close. It's not even close. I don't care who you say is better than him, who you think is better than him. Right now, Myles Garrett is far and away the best defensive player in the NFL. It is not even close. And there is no close second. There isn't. There isn't, ladies and gentlemen. There's just not. The man had 3 more sacks yesterday, bringing his total up to 18. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, the single season NFL record is 22 and a half. I believe it's held by Michael Strahan. That's the current NFL record for most sacks in a season, 22 and a half. Myles Garrett has 18, and we still have 7 games to play. He's at 18. And we still have 7 games remaining. So let's average that out. He gets 2 sacks. Let's say he gets 2 sacks per game the rest of the season. I believe that will put him at 32 sacks in one season. There's nobody better. I don't want to hear TJ Watt. I don't want to hear JJ Watt. I don't want to hear none of them others. I don't want to hear it. That man cannot be guarded. I don't understand why deep offensive lines guard him one-on-one. There's not a left tackle in this league that can handle that man. Myles Garrett. There's not one. Not a one. And if you do handle him, I bet you held. I bet you held him. I bet you should have been called for holding. He is that good. He single-handedly wrecked anything the Raiders were trying to do on offense yesterday. He single-handedly wrecked it. And then the rest of the G line and linebackers, they just feast upon it. When the Raiders decided to double team Myles Garrett, it comes from other fellas coming up the middle, eating, Graham eating, everybody eating. 10 sacks, one short of their record for one game, 4 sacks in a game. Their sacks record for the Browns in one game is 11. They're 10. I seriously doubt they'll have anywhere close to that number the rest of the season, because I don't think they're going to play anybody that bad the rest of the season. But it did look good. It sure looked good. But Shedeur Sanders was the man. He was the talk of the. He's still the talk today. Now, what grade would I give him? I would give him a solid B. I would have gave him a B plus had Jerry Jeudy not fumbled the damn ball. But I give him a solid B. He made mistakes, but those mistakes did not cost the team. You know, that interception they threw, Raiders didn't do nothing with it because our defense was eating. So he did make rookie mistakes. I think he held on the ball a little bit too long. I think he needs to go to his reads a little bit more and work on his footwork. Yeah, but he'll throw the ball deep if the moment allows for it, and he'll throw it deep and accurate. Browns fans, when have you last seen that? A quarterback for the Cleveland Browns who's not afraid to throw the ball deep and can throw it deep and accurately. It's been a minute since we've seen that. It's been a minute. So, here's the question. And it's been thrown out all last night. It's been thrown out today. I'm going to throw it out. Should he start the next game? The answer to that is obvious. Hell yeah. You damn right he should start. He's done everything the Browns have wanted him to do. They've done, and despite the ridicule that he's been getting not only from the coaching staff, but from the haters and the media, he's been. I don't know if they did it to humbling. I don't know if they did it because of who his daddy is. I don't care. He showed yesterday that he can play this game. He's not scared to play this game, and he can play this game. And from what the Browns fans seen from Dillon Gabriel over the previous 6 weeks, how can you not start Shedeur Sanders? Let me tell you this. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm saying this right now on Manic Monday on my show, Total Sports Ozone, Big O with the big mouth talking at you. I'm saying this right now. November 24th, 2025. I'm going to say this right now. And I'll put my last dime on this. If Kevin Stefanski goes ahead and puts Dillon Gabriel back in the starting quarterback position, if and when he clears concussion protocol, if he starts Dillon Gabriel, he's going to get fired. He is going to get fired. I guarantee it. Because the fans are going to be calling for his neck. How can you not, after the performance Shedeur Sanders gave yesterday, how can you not want to see more? How can you not want this young man to get more rest, to get more opportunity? Yes, he made his first start. He held up great. But that was against the Raiders. Now, the Browns are playing the 49ers at home. He'll be at home in front of his fans. And I'm pretty sure they'll pack the house to see this young man start. Even though the Browns are 3-8, they ain't going nowhere. Ain't no playoffs in the horizon on the horizon for the Cleveland Browns. Who cares? They want to see if he's the future. If he's going to finally be the answer at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. They're going to want to see that. We've seen it on the road. Now the fans are going to see that at home. In the cold weather, off the lakefront. They want to see what this young man can do. They saw a little bit of it when he came in the second half against the Ravens. Saw a little bit of it. Now they want to see the whole enchilada. So how can you not start him? His first home start? And it's against a formidable opponent. He ain't going to be playing no chumps. Ain't going to be no scrubs. They're going to be playing the 49ers, who ain't no scrubs. We got to see how he holds up against real NFL competition. We got to know. So how can Kevin Stefanski, in his right mind, start Dillon Gabriel if he comes out of concussion protocol this week over Shedeur Sanders? We didn't see what Dillon Gabriel can do, and it ain't much. It ain't much. The man can barely complete a screen pass. Throws the ball to the people's feet. He won't throw it deep. You have to stick a cattle prod up his ass for him to even think about the notion of throwing the ball past 30 yards. He's too scared or he's incapable. I don't know. But he won't throw that ball deep. We know this. We didn't seen it. He can barely throw it intermediate. We didn't seen what Dillon Gabriel brings to the table. And it's not much. We've seen what Shedeur Sanders brings to the table. And that young man only had 1 week of practice with the ones, with the first team offense. He ain't do too bad. He ain't do too bad. So we got to see more. We got to see him go through this. And why not? What do the Browns got to lose? He ain't going nowhere. Play the man the rest of the season. That's what I think should be done. And I'm pretty sure a lot of fans, a lot of media, whole lot of people. I've been reading it on Twitter. I've been seeing it on Facebook, on the ESPN First Take. Everybody saying Shedeur Sanders should start the next game. But Kevin Stefanski in his post-game press conference did not commit to him. Why? And then now, if you don't start Shedeur Sanders, everybody's going to wonder what the hell is going on in Cleveland. There's got to be some kind of conspiracy theory or some shit. And I would have to agree with him. There's got to be something under the table going on. Or some, or what I like to say, some ain't stirring the Kool-Aid right. If you don't start that man after the performance that he had, how he lifted the team on the sideline. Hell, he even had Myles Garrett going, wow. On that 55-yard throw he had to Bond. Had Myles Garrett on the sideline going, wow. Probably because he hasn't seen too many Cleveland quarterbacks throw a ball like that. On a run accurately past 50 yards. How can you not start him the next game? If he don't, like I said it, I'll say it again. If he does not start Shedeur Sanders and he goes back to Dylan Gabriel, I guarantee you at the end of the season he's going to get fired. He will lose his job. He will lose his job, and he should, because obviously there's some kind of conspiracy theories going on, and right now the Browns don't need to be involved in no more conspiracy theories. He will be fired. He will be fired. I mean, when you 3-8, you ain't got nothing to lose. Ain't nobody expecting a damn thing from you. So why are you not playing Shedeur Sanders after the performance he gave and he got the win? Why? Everybody's gonna want to know why. And everybody's gonna come up with their own conspiracy theories and hyperboles and hypotheticals and la da dee la da da. I say he's gonna get fired. I say if he doesn't start Shedeur Sanders for the rest of the season, he will be fired at the end of the season, if not earlier. That's just how I see it. How do you see it? Leave me a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing. I'm doing this for you guys, and that's that's why I do it, because I want to hear from you guys. Big O with the big mouth. Total Sports Ozone. Let's shift gears. Talk about them Chiefs. I was worried. 20-9. It didn't look good in the third quarter for the Chiefs. It sure didn't. I didn't know. When they were down 20-9 in the third quarter, I thought this might be the end. I literally thought this might be the end of that Chiefs dynasty that's had a stranglehold on not just the AFC, but the entire NFL the last 4 or 5 years. I think that dynasty might come to an end today. And we might be seeing the changing of the guard. Patrick Mahomes said not quite. We ain't dead yet. Mounted a hellacious comeback to force the game into overtime. And then I kept saying, don't let the Chiefs get that ball first. Don't let the Chiefs get the ball. But see, in the modified overtime, each team is going to get one possession, no matter if they scored on that first possession or not, unless the defensive team scores first. So, Colts had the ball, didn't score. Chiefs, you know, you can't give Patrick Mahomes a chance. You cannot give him a chance with the game on the line. He's been doing this his whole damn career. And he did it again Sunday. And in a game that the Chiefs needed to have, basically to save their season. They got it. 23-20 in overtime over the Indianapolis Colts. So at 6-5, they still fighting. They still got a mountain to climb to get a playoff spot. I don't know if they're done for the AFC West. I don't know. I'm not going to go that far and say the Chiefs are done as far as the AFC West are concerned. They're in third place. They are in third place. A full 3 games behind Denver. They do get to play Denver again, but to me, it's a foregone conclusion. Unless Denver just totally implodes, Denver's going to win the AFC West, right? So right now, Kansas City is just fighting to grab one of those wild card spots. And if the Chiefs get in, you know, they ain't new to this. They true to this. So they could go all the way if they can just get in. So yesterday's game was so pivotal into their in this keeping their season alive. They got it. That's why I say, and I'll continue to say, don't sleep on them Chiefs. Do not sleep on them. Just when you think you got them, Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. He may not be the Patrick Mahomes that we've known the last 2, 3, 4 years, MVP type, but he still can get you if you give him a chance. He still can get you because he still got Travis Kelce. He still got Xavier Warren. He still got Rashid Rice and Kareem Hunt and all the Hilaire. He still got weapons. And he still can run. So don't sleep on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs too much. I mean, as far as the division, they may be out of it, but don't ever count them out as far as their chances of getting the wild card spot. Don't do that. Not yet. But this leads to a huge, and I mean huge, Thanksgiving matchup with the Cowboys. I mean, this is huge. We're talking about two teams that are fighting for their playoff lives, going at it in Arlington on Turkey Day. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to tune into this one, whether they like either team or not. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to tune in because this ain't just Dak Prescott against Patrick Mahomes. This game Thursday could eliminate somebody from any chance of making a playoff. It could, if certain scenarios worked out the way they could, the way they could or could not. This game could eliminate somebody from the playoffs. I know they got 6 games remaining after this one, but this game could eliminate them. Dallas is 5-5-1. They got to climb over at least 4 teams just to challenge for that 7th spot, the last wild card spot in the NFC. Kansas City is in the same boat. So I'm saying so this game could effectively eliminate one or the other. It could. It certainly could. We're going to talk about this game as we get closer to Thanksgiving. And, of course, I'm going to make my picks. I'm going to make my picks this week because I couldn't make them last week. I'm going to make my picks on Wednesday. I'm still going to do a Thursday show, and I'm still going to do a Friday show. But since the NFL will be starting on Thursday this week, and the college football games will be Thursday and Friday. A lot of games are Friday. I'm going to be making my picks this week on Wednesday. So we'll be discussing this game a lot more. Who has the advantage? I believe the Chiefs have the advantage. They have the slightly better defense. Slightly better. Not all the way better, but they have a slightly better defense than the Cowboys at this point. But both teams' offenses can light it up if they want to. So this could be one very good matchup. And like I said, it could eliminate one of the other teams from any hope of making the playoff. I saw this morning, Dallas Cowboys right now have a 10% chance to make the NFC playoffs. They lose this game Thursday, it goes down to 3%. 3%. They win, they go up to 19%. So this game is vital. Kansas City, they're now at a 26% to make the playoff. They lose this game, it goes down to 14%. But they'll be 6-6. They win this game, they'll be up to, I believe it was like 44%. So they'll have a chance if they win this game Thursday. So, like I'm saying, this game to me is a de facto playoff eliminator already. It's a de facto playoff elimination game. Loser this, you pretty much can kill it. So it's going to be a hell of a matchup. But as it stands now, Chiefs kept the season alive, winning in overtime over the Indianapolis Colts. Now, this is no indictment on the Colts. The Colts played well. They learned. They're learning. When you're playing the Chiefs, you got to play full 60 minutes. They were up 20-9, handling business. But when you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, especially in Arrowhead, you got to play the full 60. You can't play 52 and a half. You can't play 47 and 3/4 minutes. You got to play the full 60 to beat that team in that stadium. I think the Colts have learned that. So it wasn't like the Colts got rolled over. They lost in overtime. But I think they blew an opportunity to put the Chiefs to bed for this season. They blew that opportunity. And I think they know they blew it. So I think they're going to learn a lesson from this. You got a team now, you better knock them out. Especially on the road, especially against a team of Super Bowl ilk as the Chiefs are. You got them on the road and you got them down, you better knock them out. Don't let them get off the mat. Don't let up. Because you do, especially in their home, it could backfire on you. It did on the Colts. But they're still 8-3. So you got to shake that off and then learn their lessons from it. That's the way I see it. They need to learn their lessons from that one. They let that one go. They let that go. I believe they know they let that go. We'll see if they do better the next game. Big O with the big mouth on the Total Sports Ozone. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like what I'm seeing. Oh, yeah, I'm going to eventually be streaming live on Instagram to get that set up right. And I have a new TikTok at the Total Sports Ozone. So I'll be flinging some clips on there on my TikTok. So watch out for that for me. Now, let's get into college football. We in rivalry week. Do you believe that? Last week of the regular season. Already. Man, time flew. I mean, I felt like it was just yesterday we were talking about week 2. Now, here we are. Last week of the regular season. Rivalry week. Where most of the teams, especially the big teams that are in the college football playoff, they're going to be playing their traditional rival this week. So, we got all those rivalries coming up. Iron Bowl, the Egg Bowl, Georgia Tech. Ah, man. Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Oregon, and Washington. Man. Got all those good rivalry games coming up this week. Plus a little bit of little ones. Purdue, Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois, Northwestern. I know they don't mean much on the biggest scene, but this is still rivalry week. But none of them will be bigger than the game. That's my Ohio State and that team up north. I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm not on this week. We're not allowed to call them their traditional name. We call them that team up north. Now, I could go all into the what ifs and whys and how comes why Ohio State and that team up north, we call it the game, is the best college football rivalry in college football and probably the best rivalry in all of North American sports. I can go into all of that. But I would just raise some kind of argument. I don't want to get into today. I'll get into that Wednesday. I'm going to let y'all know why. Because this is the one, a couple of these rivalry games are going to have big time influence in the college football playoff. I know the new projected college football playoff rankings will be coming out tomorrow night, but I already know at least 3 of these games are going to go a long way to see who is in and who ain't. Who is in and who is not. Like, the big argument will be Texas. I mean, that's going to be one of the arguments because of who they're playing. They're playing the number 3 team in the country, Texas A&M, at home. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of the Aggies fans gonna say, "Poo, we gonna whoop their ass in their house anyway." What if you don't? What if Texas beats you? What if Texas beats you and beats you pretty bad? The way I see it, that is the only way the Texas Longhorns can have any chance of getting in. They can't go to the SEC championship. They have 3 losses, although 2 of those losses were quality losses. They're still losses. They still got 1 ugly loss to a very bad Florida team. But they have 3 losses. Could they get in if they not only beat Texas A&M but blows them off the field? I don't see that happening. But what if? I don't see Texas A&M getting blown off the field by Texas. What if? What if? What if Alabama, who has 2 losses, lose in the Iron Bowl to Auburn? It's in Jordan-Hare on the plains in Auburn. And one thing I can tell you about rivalries, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. When it comes to your rivalry, your rival, stats don't matter. Rankings don't matter. How many wins or losses you have don't matter. They just don't. All that out the window. You worry about the ramifications of all that after the game. But rivalry game, none of that matters. Because all that matters is the hatred. The hatred between both schools, both fan bases, both teams. That's all that matters. And them getting it on and seeing who's the best and who's going to have those bragging rights for the next year. So it's all conceivable that Alabama could drop this game to Auburn. It's conceivable. I know Auburn's having a bad year. They fired the coach and this and this and that. This is rivalry. And I'm pretty sure nothing would please those Auburn fans and the alumni and all that by ruining Alabama's season. Because Alabama lose, that's it. They have 3 losses again. They ain't getting to the SEC championship game again. And they may not make the playoff again. If Alabama loses to Auburn, all that can happen. And of course, Ohio State and that team up north. Now, this ain't got that kind of big time significance because Ohio State's going to the playoff whether they win or lose this game. That's just written down. That's just written down. You know it, I know it, everybody know it. Ohio State's going to the playoff whether they win or lose. But if Michigan beats Ohio State, they could get in. Excuse me, I'm not supposed to. If that team up north beats Ohio State for the 5th year in a row, they could get into the playoffs. Because they will have by far, no one can say different, the most significant win in the college football playoff. They will have beaten the number 1 team in the country for the 5th year in a row. They will have beaten number 1. How do you leave them out? They have 2 losses, to a strong Oklahoma team who will probably play themselves into the playoff. And a road loss to USC. That's it. I know they had played down to the wire against Northwestern. They played down the wire against a couple other teams. But if you beating the number 1 team, you only got 2 losses, 1 loss in conference. And you beat the number 1 team, and they could very well make the Big Ten championship game. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is going to be there's a lot to be decided this week during rivalry week. There's a lot to be decided. And on tomorrow's show, I'm going to go over all the clinching scenarios for conference championships for the Power Four conference. I'm gonna go all over the clinching scenario for the Big Ten, SEC, ACC, and the Big 12. And if I can, some of the Group of Five, the Sun Belt, the American, Conference USA, go over any clinching scenarios I can find for them. But we're gonna go over all that on tomorrow's show because there's a lot to be decided during Rivalry week, and I think it's a very exciting way to close out the college football season, regular season, that is. So, time for me to get on out of here. Big O with the big mouth, Total Sports Ozone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my clips on the TikTok, and I will be posting some of them on Instagram. And of course, I will be back tomorrow here for you. Always Total Sports Ozone. Have a good day.